For more than a decade, Nvidia has been quietly building the foundation of the AI revolution. Every time you ask ChatGPT a question, generate an image, translate a language, or interact with an AI assistant, there's a good chance Nvidia hardware is doing the heavy lifting behind the scenes. That success transformed Nvidia from a gaming graphics company into one of the most valuable businesses in the world. But every great technology company eventually faces the same challenge. Its biggest customers become large enough to ask a simple question: what if we built it ourselves? Today, NVIDIA's largest customers are no longer startups or universities. They are some of the richest companies in history: Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, and XAI. Together, these companies spend hundreds of billions of dollars building AI infrastructure. And increasingly, they are trying to reduce their dependence on the company that made the AI revolution possible. This is no longer a story about GPUs. It's a story about power. The question investors should be asking is no longer whether AI will continue to grow. The real question is, who will control the infrastructure that powers it? To understand what's happening, we first need to understand the incentives. Imagine you're Amazon. Every year you purchase tens of billions of dollars of AI chips. Those chips are expensive. They're in limited supply, and they come from a single supplier. That's a strategic risk. So Amazon created Trainium. Google had already been investing in tensor processing units, or TPUs, for years. Microsoft introduced Maia to support its rapidly expanding AI cloud services. Meta continues developing its MTIA chips to improve recommendation systems and AI inference. Elon Musk has repeatedly emphasized the importance of controlling AI infrastructure, while XAI is investing heavily in building its own compute ecosystem. Although each company takes a different approach, their motivations are remarkably similar. They want lower costs, better energy efficiency, hardware optimized specifically for their own AI models, and perhaps most importantly, they want independence. They're not necessarily trying to defeat Nvidia. They're trying to reduce their reliance on it. That distinction is important because these companies are still buying enormous numbers of Nvidia GPUs. They're simply preparing for a future where they have more choices. At first glance, this sounds like bad news for Nvidia, but there's another side to the story. Jensen Huang often reminds investors that Nvidia is not simply a semiconductor company. It's an AI platform company. Think about what happens after you buy a GPU. You still need software, networking, development tools, AI libraries, cluster management, high-speed communication between thousands of processors. Nvidia spent nearly 2 decades building this ecosystem. CUDA has become the programming language of modern AI. Millions of researchers and developers already know how to use it. Thousands of AI applications depend on it. That's why Jensen Huang has repeatedly argued that replacing Nvidia isn't simply about building a faster chip. You have to replace an entire ecosystem. And ecosystems are much harder to replicate than hardware. This is Nvidia's real competitive moat. Not just silicon, but software, developers, partnerships, and years of accumulated experience. Yet markets don't price companies based only on where they are today. They price companies based on where investors believe they will be tomorrow. And the numbers show something important. AI infrastructure spending continues to accelerate at an extraordinary pace. Hyperscalers are investing hundreds of billions of dollars into data centers, networking, power systems, and advanced computing. At the same time, spending on custom AI chips is growing rapidly. Analysts expect application-specific AI processors, often called ASICs, to grow faster than the broader GPU market over the coming years. That doesn't necessarily mean Nvidia will shrink. In fact, Nvidia could continue growing rapidly. But the AI economy itself is becoming much larger. Instead of one dominant winner, value may increasingly be shared across the ecosystem. Companies like Broadcom, Marvell, TSMC, memory suppliers, networking providers, and hyperscalers themselves may all capture a larger share of future AI investment. In other words, the AI pie is getting bigger, The debate is no longer about whether Nvidia wins. It's about whether Nvidia captures as much of that growing pie as investors once expected. Every major technology revolution creates a defining competitive battle. During the PC era, it was Intel and Microsoft. During the smartphone era, it became Apple and Android. Today, artificial intelligence is entering its own defining phase. The battle is no longer about creating smarter models. It's about controlling the infrastructure beneath them. Nvidia enters this race with extraordinary advantages: world-class hardware, a powerful software ecosystem, trusted relationships with nearly every major AI developer, and one of the strongest engineering cultures in the industry. But its customers have advantages of their own. They control the world's largest AI workloads. They own the cloud platforms. They generate enormous amounts of proprietary data. And they have the financial resources to invest billions in custom silicon. So perhaps the future won't belong entirely to Nvidia. And perhaps it won't belong entirely to the hyperscalers either. The most likely outcome may be an AI ecosystem where multiple winners coexist, each specializing in different parts of the value chain. As investors, that's the question we should keep asking. Will AI create more value? Almost certainly. But who will capture that value? Because the answer to that question could define the next decade of technology investing. And this race has only just begun.